Hey there, YouTubers. Me again. Ouch. Right? This is what happens when you live in the mountains of Tennessee. These very large dogs with antlers tend to roam free. And, you know, you don't got one of those deer whistles on your car, which I'm a firm believer in. I don't know if they work, but they seem to. But anyway, this is a friend of mine's truck. And she met up with one of them mysterious creatures. And it won. I mean, I don't know how it's feeling, but I know this old truck took a pretty good hit. So anyway, it's a good truck. She loves it. It's been good to her. She doesn't want to get rid of it, but the insurance company totaled it. Kagach, no good. Right? So she asked me if I would take a look at it. She got some quotes from various body shops, and it's in the thousands of dollars. Well, maybe. Funny thing is, the labor really wasn't that bad. It was pretty reasonable, but the parts were outrageous. And I don't know if I can do any better for her. You know, labor, yeah, I mean, she's my friend. But parts-wise, I still got to buy parts, right? And so what we're going to do today, I thought it'd be interesting for you all to let's compare a body shop's prices to do it yourself. Okay? Right off the bat, we know we can save 500 bucks. Okay? 500 bucks is the labor. Not bad, really. But no shop, and I'll explain this because I don't want to like diss on body shops and diss on mechanic shops, because in their defense, they have to guarantee their work, okay? So if they put all these parts on, and they put a brand new, bought in China grill, well, or Japan in this case, I think, and or they get one at a discount place that, you know, makes toys, Otis, that was a funny, pun intended, she might find that the chrome starts peeling in a week, okay? Or she buys a headlight and it's just don't work, cracked, whatever. Or she gets a new bumper and, you know, it's rusts in 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know. Body work doesn't seem like a guarantee would be too big a deal, but that's why shops raise their prices extravagantly on the parts, because they have to guarantee them, okay? They may struggle if they buy a junky part, they may struggle for hours trying to get that part to fit right, and because they've already quoted their labor. I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you. I've never used one, but I'm assuming that if they struggle for 3 hours, but the book says it takes 15 or 20 minutes, they still only get paid for 15 and 20 minutes. So I understand. And like I said, their labor rate was not ridiculous in my opinion. But the parts, $6,000 in parts. That just seems a little extreme. That being said, we're going to do a comparison. I'm going to see exactly what parts we need. I'm going to do it out here in the sunshine because it's beautiful out today. We had some pretty cold weather and rainy and nasty and not fun weather. And so today being beautiful, it's like 50-something degrees out, sunny. There's a little breeze, but not bad, not enough to mess with the camera, it seems. So, God willing, it'll stay this way. I'm going to start ripping parts off. We're going to make a pile. I'm going to get in and I'm going to find out how much each part is as compared to what I have a quote from the body shops. No, I'm not going to tell you what body shops. It's irrelevant anyway, because none of you probably even live around here. But I'm going to compare it. Now, don't forget, this is Tennessee. If you live in Chicago, or you live in New York, or you live in some place that's mainstream, big dollar neighborhood, you probably won't be working on your own Toyota anyway. But parts may be cheaper. I mean, let me back that up. Parts may be more expensive over there. Or if you live right near a port, where parts come in right off the boat, or right in, you know, they may be cheaper. I don't know. But Tennessee, things tend to be a little bit cheaper here because we're right in the middle of the country, and almost everybody has to pass by here one way or another, going one way or the other. So parts really aren't too terribly expensive here, unless you get them from the West Coast. Then everything's ridiculous. So if you live in California, sorry, things are ridiculously expensive out there for whatever reason. But anyway, start yanking this thing apart. I kind of cheated. Well, I didn't cheat, but some of this is already off. So, you know, oops. So, yeah, things are already almost done, right? Things were already off. I just kind of set them there for the ambiance of it all. But that's where we're at. I did notice some things, like this was bent. I already almost fixed it already. And then we got the fender. Well, that's pretty tweaked. That ain't coming back. But we'll just go ahead and get started on what we have to replace, what we can fix with a hammer, what we might or might not. Like this, for example. I noticed on this light, it's got a broken bracket. It's got a little hole in it. We could maybe fix it, but maybe not. Probably not, because once we do, it's going to have one side's hazy, one side's. But I mean, if you look at the truck, you know, this is all faded, the roof's all faded, a little bit of rust starting up there. You know, she just wants her truck. It's a farm truck, so she's not looking for perfect. Body shop's going to charge $6,000 to make it perfect. When it, you know, I doubt they're going to give it a whole paint job. So that's why they totaled it. We're going to make it a decent little truck again. We might throw a little lipstick on it, maybe not, but that's probably going in the trash. So let's go ahead and get all these parts off, dig in, see just what is bent, and we can unbend. Like, we can replace the radiator support, or we can get a big hammer and or hook it to a tractor and pull it back out. Doesn't look horrible. I think maybe just a little schwack here, we could probably, you know, another one here, we can probably pull those out. We can get either a dent puller, or if we can get behind it. We'll see what we're doing, and we'll do it that way. So let's see where we can save her some money, see what has to be replaced. Let's get started. I'm going to start by opening the hood, see what we got going on in here. Okay, anything obvious? Now, some of this stuff we're going to salvage, because if you'll notice, there's some broken pieces of the headlight here. And then there's a broken piece of the headlight here, and a broken mounting tab. Okay? Both of those are right there. Okay? Now, it is also missing the little snappy doodah that goes there, so that might thwart our efforts. Unless we can steal one off the other car, the other light. That'd be a negative. Or did it there? Nope, it's gone too. Okay. Oh, well, here it is. Nope, there it isn't. Okay, well, yeah, it's supposed to have one of these here, so that may make our decision for us, because we won't have that. We can glue these and glue these, because it's plastic. You know, we just got a good quality epoxy. But this piece being missing, if we can buy just that, great. If not, well, it looks like, well, actually we could improvise. We could actually take that out, and we could put a screw there. So we're not totally dead on repairing the headlight. But on the flip side, we'll go ahead and we'll give the owner the options of whether or not she wants to replace them. It'll look a lot better than nice new ones, but we'll see. Let's see if there's anything else obvious here. I did notice some little pieces of overflow. That radiator is definitely bent, but is it leaking? Ooh, what's that? Well, let's see. Can't quite get you in here yet. But when things go that way, there's other things in there that don't like it. Don't like it at all. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start right here. Now, the other stuff you saw, we're going to pick through that and see what we can save, what we can't. But right now, we're going to have to go. We may be able to salvage this if it's not damaged. It's bent, but you can see that it hasn't hurt the coils and all, just the fins. There's a few pieces of plastic here that may have done us in, but we'll see. We'll check it. If it's usable, we may be able to just simply unbend it. There we go. Get those out of the way. None of those look damaged. So we might be good on the AC compressor. Like I said, this I just bent by hand. It's got a little tweaky there, but easy. This thing bent like with my hands. Alright, so let's start by getting this radiator out of here. And I'll show you the carnage in here. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to take the air box out. And it's got 3 bolts that I can see, 2 of which, one being here, the other one being down there, are broken. Because when this got smashed in, it evidently broke them. However, it's still in there pretty darn good. So, whoops, try the other way. We're going to make a presidential executive decision that we don't need the other 2. I mean, this is supposed to be an inexpensive fix. Body shop is going to do a better job, obviously. They're going to fix paint, which is ridiculous because this thing's paint is shot. And then, you know, they're going to replace rather than repair in a lot of instances. Well, I tested the horn, which is down here. You can't see it yet. We'll go over that later. But it works. It don't look pretty, but it works. Okay, so we're going to take these bolts out. And this still, even with all the bolts out, this thing's in there pretty darn good. Because it goes into the fender here, which is probably, oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's got a bolt there, too. What? How do you get that out of there? Oh, you don't. That's something else. Okay. So we're going to take these off. We're going to take the bolt off. We're going to get all this stuff out of the way and take this out. I do not believe that we are going to replace this. However, you can see the difference that this got pushed back, right? Okay? So what we're going to use this for is a template. So I will return the box to its original position where it is right now after we're done doing what we're doing. And I'm going to keep pulling on this until it's back to where it's supposed to be, where this is laying down where it's supposed to be. Probably not necessary, but if we want the headlight to point anywhere but, you know, at the ground, we might want to fix that. So this is what we're going to use. This is not a professional body shop, folks. This is Dave's backyard, okay? This is where I build hot rods, and some of you think I hack and whatever. But whatever the case may be, this is all about doing things on the cheap, saving people money, giving her a functional, drivable, decent-looking truck, at least as decent as it started out, okay? We're probably not going to lay any paint on this. The fender, when we buy it, will probably come in a black, not a shiny black. I don't think she's going to care. If she wants to paint it later, we'll talk about that. But for now, we're just going to take this box out, get it out of the way so I can unbend crap. And then we're going to bend this back out so that it is here. Same down there. This is bent up. We're going to have to use it for a template. So let's get this out first, and then we'll go from there. See that drip? That's bad. It's coming from somewhere on the radiator. Something tells me somebody's been here before, because that bolt's missing, that bolt's missing, that bolt's missing. That bolt is now missing. now that bolt is missing. And something mysteriously is holding it up there. I don't think there's some broken pieces there. I don't think there's anything in those holes. So let me see if there's anything holding this, or if it's just something's definitely holding it. But what? What is holding it? Let's take a look up inside there. There's nothing there, nothing there. Well, there's some broken pieces there. And that is the one that's, what about here? Anything missing here? Yep, there's a couple of bolts hiding in here. Okay. I think my wife's getting attacked by our goose. Looks good to me. Alright. Now the truth be told. Oh my goodness. Let's get a replay of that. I can't. I don't have a replay. Let me show you. Look at all this just fell out of there. It's all broken pieces. Here's some more. So let's see what's causing that. I am starting to see some other minor carnage because everything's plastic. I mean, it's all plastic, you know. This whole bracket is just foobarred. It's holding itself in by the lines. Even if I can save this condenser, which I'm going to try to do, the bracket is not going to survive. And I'm not sure, the bracket may, it looks like it unbolts, but it may actually be integrated into the condenser. Like when you buy a condenser, it comes with the whole new bracket. So we may be stuck buying a new condenser anyway. I'm going to pull this horn off of here because it's just in the way. We're going to save the horns. I tested them. They do work. They don't look real pretty, but they work. And so we're going to, I think all these lines, I don't see any lines that are pierced or broken. So we're going to try to save all those. And depending on what I do with the condenser, I'm going to try, keyword being try, to pull this condenser out in one piece. This will have to come out, no big deal, because I straightened it sort of, but it's got a little wazoo going on here. I don't know if this is just a cover. I think it is. It looks like it's just a bolt in the back. This is not really a, yeah, it's just a bolt. This is not really a how-to per se, as much as it is a, are you willing to, you know, as to try to save some money, you know what I mean, instead of paying $6 million and, well, labor, like I said, wasn't too bad, but spending a lot of money on parts, we can try to just buy exactly what we need and no more. This is really weird. I think they put this on here to keep people from gouging their belly button on it when they don't want to come off. Look at that. Let me get out the proper tool. see if we can get that little cap out of there. Well, I'm addicted to horse pucky. Well, we'll take this one out. Maybe it'll just rotate out of the way. I'm kind of thinking that is the way it's going to be. So let's pull this out. See if it'll just rotate out of the way. 10 mil. Well, like I like to call them, Milli Vanilli wafers. Ooh, a little bit of tension on that bad boy. And nope, it won't come out, so we're going to take the latch off too. Rather than messing with that, I don't know what's going on. We'll figure out what's going on over there in a minute. That's weird. The way car manufacturers manufacture stuff sometimes. All right, I'm going to start pulling all these bolts out of here that are mounting this. Including my my horn. See, this bracket is completely trashed. So not really sure what's going on with all of this stuff. I am curious if this bracket is integrated or if it can be bought separately. I'm going to try not to vent the system because if I can save this, I'm going to. And worst comes to worst, I can mount it another way. Not really sure what's all going on here. This is all experimental, by the way. It'd be very easy to vent all of this, you know. But if I do that, now I think, is this just over here? Does this go? I think this goes through somewhere. Pretty sure. So I think we're going to have, we just might be able to flip it up on its head. But for the moment, I got a bolt here. We got, that's going to, yeah, that's holding it in. That's got an O-ring in there. We'll probably end up venting the system, not a big deal. We have to refill it. We're probably going to have to anyway. But it looks like this bracket can be replaced, but I'll have to look when we start doing that if I can even purchase it by itself. And probably not. I'm going to guess, because this is a replacement world. Nobody fixes things anymore. It's a replacement world. So what am I doing? Everybody just wants to replace it, so my guess is we're gonna have to replace that as a unit anyway. But we'll try to save it until we know for sure that I have to buy the whole thing. We'll see, man. We'll get it out of here. So there's another broken bracket. Broken bracket. What the heck? That's got me a little begaffled. See, this one's busted up too. We may end up taking the radiator support out just to beat it into shape. And then again, we may not. So, but these came off because they're broken. So we're taking them off another way. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know who's out there skinning cats, but I've never skinned a cat myself. Coyote, sure. You know, squirrels, deer. I never cat. Alrighty, this is pretty much loose. So, probably not going to be able to get that out without venting. The system may already be vented anyway. We're doing our best to avoid that. Where was that? Oh, I got more. The horns just so we can. Okay then, it just came right out. Guess the plug is busted. Well, okay then. If it wasn't broken, it is now. Jeepers, bro. It's only got one. We can still save it. If it works, it works. All right. This is ready to come out. Okay, more pieces coming off. I really don't think I can buy this separate. I'm really probably just beating my head against the wall right now. But we shall see. So let's bring it back down to earth where I can see what I'm doing. Just because it was weird, I figured I'd show you this. This little button was in here, and it's just a button. And I just took a pick, stuck it in there and popped. It's just to protect that bolt. Not really sure why. Kind of just a total waste of resources, but and pieces and parts. But for whatever reason, they wanted to shield that bolt. But it's out now. I'm going to pull it out because evidently, to get the latch out, you have to take this off, and to get this off, you have to take the latch out. So there we go. Now the latch is loose, and the bolt I had was just dropped. So we'll got to retrieve that. It's really short. We'll know which one that is just by looking at it. And we take this out. But this is a piece we are obviously going to keep and redo, because honestly, it's the thin piece of junk. Really, it doesn't do diddly. I mean, it might do a little, but it ain't. It's really tin. It's super cheesy. So, but we're going to reuse it. We're going to reuse the air box. That's going to be a huge savings. We don't really need to fix these two. We can if I want to put some epoxy. I might get the epoxy gun out and do a bunch of fixing on stuff, but in reality, it's not even necessary. Radiator cap. Boop. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the top radiator hose off just to get it out of my way. Because I'm a creature of comfort, and even though I can easily work around it, well, not easily, even though I can work around it, I prefer, come on baby, well it's going to give me a humdinger of a time, isn't it? Come on you. What's the deal? It doesn't want to come loose. Well, you know, I kept staring at the battery going, that's probably going to have to come out. And I wasn't wrong. This has got some funky stuff going on. These work really well. I don't know if I can use it on this one, because this is a funky kind of terminal. But we're going to try, because I'm lazy. So let's go get it caught up underneath here. Because the way this works is the more you pull up on it, the more it pulls in on itself. Ooh, it don't want to come loose, but we'll have to try to loosen that one. This one we'll probably be able to take off without loosening. And it's gonna need attention anyway. This battery looks rough. Really, really, really dirty. Terminals look horrible. Yeah, that will come right off. Okay. So let's get this out of the way momentarily. Yeah, you, get over there. There we go. This one we're going to take a 10 milli vanillimeter. Yeah, that's it. I don't know if I can do it with the ratchet or not. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. Oh yeah, pizza cake. I know better. I'm going to put my socket up there, but I know better. It's going to go into the abyss. I can feel it in my bones. Boy, this thing is on there. Come on, you. There we go. Oof. I don't really like these kind of terminals. These are fairly common on these cars, these trucks, these vehicles, but I don't like them. Alright, battery's ready to come out. Eat my Wheaties. Oh, wait. This little canister just pops up, just slides in right here, snaps in, so that's easy enough to get out. That somehow managed to survive. And it's got a, here's the lid. So, I'm thinking we're not gonna get away without replacing a radiator myself, but we're trying. Alright, we gotta finish getting these bolts out of the radiator. Now the shroud. Oh, that went right into my bucket of antifreeze. Great. Alright. What are you hanging up on now, old girl? Well, there's nothing hanging the radiator up. This isn't going to come out because there's 9,000 things in the way. But I do believe this might come out. Man, there's just stuff. I'm going to get this bucket out of here because stuff's falling in. We definitely don't want our animals getting into that and drinking it. That'd be bad. Alright, let's see. Okay. Alright, it's got... Well, why would it do that? It has little tabs, alignment tabs. That one's out. This one is not. It is out. It's out now. You ain't coming out with us there early. Okay. She's hung up on the bottom on a, because it's crushed, it's pushing itself into the shroud, which, no, the shroud's okay. It's two pieces. Oh, the shroud's two pieces. Yep. The shroud is two pieces. So we're going to go ahead and pull the second piece out. And then this first piece should come out if the radiator wasn't smashed into the fan. And we have, because it's smushed, we're having some issues. Oh, give me my hand back. I need my hand back. Thank you. Yep, she ain't gonna come out. But this might. These little tabs they put in here are kind of stupid. It actually looks like it might drop out the bottom. Nope, it's got more little tabs. This one might come right out. There we go. One of them, one of those, whatever you want to call it. What is hanging me up here? Come on. I'm going to have to argue with this old girl for a few minutes. Just bear with me. This is going to be a do not try this at home. Here's where I'm at. This radiator is no good anyway. So I can't make it any worse. So we are, uh-oh, I think I do see one. Yep, I see a compromise in it. I was going to say if I didn't see any holes in it, I was going to try to save it. But nope. We got one. It looks, it's crushed. It may or may not. I got rid of that. I did straighten that bugger out. She's still a little bit high right here. I don't weigh enough. Imagine that. That might be okay. I'm going to have to get up in close there. And she's definitely I'd like to save it if I could. I don't know. She's pretty good. You can't beat on it, so you gotta use it. Oh, I forgot I got screws on the bottom of my shoes. That's probably not a wise idea. Not that one anyway. I don't know. I think it looks pretty straight now. Well, we got a little booger over here too. No screws on this. Oh no. Totally foobarred right there. Oh well. Oh yeah. She's tweaked. Okay, well it was worth a shot. Couldn't see that at first, so we're going to add this to the junk pile. Okay, so that is junk. I'm pretty sure our condenser is also going to be junk. I don't believe you can buy them separately. I'd almost guarantee it. But this is what I was working towards. I think we're just going to face reality and say that we're not going to be able to save this condenser either. I'd like to, if this was a super rare car and I couldn't find one, yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's not even going to be a very expensive piece. In light of the radiator being totally foobarred, we're going to go with foobar on the condenser as well. Rule of thumb is you replace the condenser, you replace the dryer. So we are looking to do this and this. I think if that's all we have to worry about, we're doing good. So I don't see anything else. The fan is totally shazoo. So we're going to get that off of here. And so the fan we'll make a pile, and then we'll see the fender's got to come off. We're going to do that, see what kind of damage we can fix while that's off. Let's get this out for the moment. The condenser, as bad as it looks, actually had pressure in it. I found out the hard way and took a mild bath in compressor oil and Freon. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I was just trying to crack the line and see if it had pressure, and I guess I should have put gauges on it. So I cracked the line just a tidbit, but unfortunately when I just cracked the line, it decided to just blow right off, so my bad on that one. Sorry, environment. But anyway, as you can see now, this is not so good. So we're going to pull this off. I think I could be wrong. I think we could just replace the plastic. I could be wrong. We'll find out here in a minute. Yeah. I think we can. Oh, what the heck? I do believe. Some of them you have to take the fan off in order to do this. I don't think this is one of them. Nope. Oops, and I dropped the bolt into the abyss. Never to be seen again. So if I can buy just the plastic fan, we'll do that. I might even be able to get a used one online. We're going to do a little internet searching because that's what this video is about. How much money can we save? Again, we already know how much labor because the body shop said $500 and something, $562 I think it was. So we know we can save $500 bucks. But now we're going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to pull this fender off. We're going to have to start straightening some stuff. And again, that's going to be all labor, so that's free. Well, if you consider your labor free. I'm leaving things that are broken. I'm leaving stuff like this attached because, like I said, when we go to put the air box back in, we're going to take the piece that normally joins this. We're going to straighten it until that lines up. Now, we've got a busted piece here that when I get the fender off, I believe it's up under here. We'll have to take this off because this is the washer fluid, and that's definitely busted. We've got a busted bracket down in here. And again, we're going to straighten all this out, but let's get this fender off of here first. I love doing fenders. Oh, this is the side that has the antenna. Woohoo, I'm so excited. All right, let's get this fender off. I've got two kinds of tools. This one. Make that 3 because I can't see nothing without this one. Alright, make it 4 because I'm going to put a flashlight in there too so I can see what I'm doing. Now, I'm just taking the inner skirt out. It's held in by little clips and rubber doodads. There's one out real easy. That was easy. That one was nice and easy. Now, got a bunch of these over here. These things just literally, you get your little tool. I can just get my lighting here. Lighting is the worst thing. There was 3 or 4 of these. This is what they look like. They got a little nib right here. The idea is to try to push these in, but it's almost impossible. So I just kind of wrestled with them and just kind of pried it out and then put a little pick in there and tried to. It wasn't easy. I broke a couple. Have to replace them. The other 2 are just pushed to slide, and then this thing came right out. Oops, I think I got one at the bottom. Hang on. Yeah, I got one of those ridiculous ones in the bottom. So we're going to try to get it out there. Here's one I broke. Yay. See, broke it. Broke. Very broke. Weird design. But I'm going to get this bottom one out, and then this whole panel should come out. 2 10mm bolts down here. We go this way. Those are out. This fender is ready to come off. I do need a couple of braces on the upper inside wheel well, and so we're going to get those out right now. Got a couple here. I believe this may be the bracket for the headlight, or what's left of it. we're going to put that in the not fixable pile. Get this coming loose now. And let's see where else. We got one here. And well, where else? Somewhere else is holding me. Not sure why. Maybe this bracket down here? Yep, I think that was it. So, let's grab the fender. Can't get to the... Something holding me here. Sometimes these things just hang on. This one does seem to have something holding it. It appears to be in this area here. Oh, maybe right. Yeah, right in this area, I think. Yep. There's one here. And I believe I can fly. I believe I saw one. Nope, I don't think that one's not attached. Okay, I saw one here too, but it's not attached. So I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Okay, we are gonna have to bring this back down, see what's going on up there. Still seems to be somehow, some way, somewhere hanging up. Alrighty then, let's see. It was too forward, but it doesn't want to come up. Oh, wiring. It's hung up on wiring, really? Oh yeah. It's got a little zingy there. What's a zingy? It's a piece of wiring that has a clip that is going to require cutting. Yeah, that's what it is. Basically a fancy zip tie. Woo! That was... That is pretty sad just how thin the metal is these things are made out of. It's all the infrastructure that keeps them together. The body panels are literally just for looks. They offer little or no... What's going on here? I've got to get this off here. I've got a little tool for this. So we've got to get the antenna unhooked. And then we're good. Well, finally, who knew that getting the antenna off is going to be the hardest part? We have, these were the two bolts underneath. See where those went? Now I've got all these little things for the flares. I'm going to save the ones I can. And I'm not sure even if the new fender is going to come with those, so we may have to drill holes. So we'll take these off and save them. I think we're down to getting out a big hammer. I'm going to start right here because this is all got to go that way. Okay, this has got to go that way slightly. But I don't know that I even have to do that. I think I do somewhat. I might have to pull that out with another truck, or with this truck, just back it up. Since there's no radiator in it, I don't want to really run it too long. We are going to... Where is it? It's not even there. It's not. That's crazy. I can't find this thing in the truck. Let's look for it. It's amazing that an animal can do this much damage. Changed my mind. I've decided I'm going to go ahead and try to pull it with my other truck. So no matter how I hit it, it's going to bend on either side, but not bend where I want it to, because where I want it to bend is right here. So this is all buckled. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it right here. I'm going to put my camera in the danger zone so you can watch. I'm in the way, but you'll be able to see soon enough. You keep an eye, see that green X? This green X right here? You keep your eyes on that. I'm going to back my big truck up, see if I can't pull that out of there. Any of this, if it's bent, I can hammer that back. It's here, and here. We're going to pull it here first. Leverage, you know. We're going to try pulling it there. Keep your eyes on that area. Alrighty, I got some pressure on it now. It looks like I pulled this out some. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get a hammer and I'm going to beat on this right here. I'm not going to lie, that works stupendously. We are good. That whole kink over here is gone. I mean, you can tell it's been hit, but everything's back into shape the way it's supposed to be. Let's see. The rest we can fix with smaller hammers. This needs to come down. This needs to come over. I wonder if I should try just pull this gently. I'm afraid we'll tweak that if I pull too hard. But we can try. We'll go ahead and put the chain here. See if I can't pull that gently. I don't really want to move this. I just want to twist it. So maybe we'll just hook it like right here. Just gently pull it. We're pretty much back to shape all here. There's a little bit of tweaking to do. Right. Oh, that's just beautiful. I picked a pretty big hammer. There's a little bit there. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not. Looks like maybe it should be. All of that looks good. Let's see, maybe we can just hit this here. This needs to come out. We'll try some other tools here. Hang on, let me go get a pair of those. Yeah. All right. Got my weapon of choice here. Maybe we'll do it this way. Okay, we can use smaller body hammers for the rest of it. We just needed the big guns for persuasion. It looks pretty darn good in here. Of course, this doesn't look real good, but we can fix that easy enough. Alright, I think we're done pulling on that. I think now we're going to try this one. We don't have to tweak on that much, but I think this is looking pretty sweet. Little hammer and dolly, make it look perfect, but this is thin stuff, so that'll be easy. So let me relieve the pressure and move on to the next thing. Nothing like an 8,000-pound Dodge to pick this old Toyota up. Looks like this part pulled out a little too far. I need to twist it a little bit. I want to do that. Started to put it back where it was. You don't want to put it back there. Does need to go that way a little bit. Further out a little too far in that. There's a brace, this brace here, I don't believe is bent at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line this up with that brace. This needs to go in just a tidbit. Say that's about as close as we're going to get with tools that we got. pretty darn good. Now we can get some smaller tools. We'll be back on this tomorrow. Willie fix all this stuff. Yeah, we'll fix some of it, I guess. I think it's time to get rid of the big guns, and we'll get some smaller stuff in here. Doctor some of this up. Well, things aren't real hopeful. This is the pile of things that I plan on saving that I think I can salvage. There's some things that I need pieces and parts off of that I cannot salvage, but I do think I'm going to need some pieces off of the radiator. And here is the pile of parts that I cannot salvage. Although, whoop, there's one piece that I can salvage. I'm going to take that out of there. And this is iffy. I may resort. I'm going to still need some pieces off this too. I'm going to need little brackets. This one's a little bent, but that's not a big deal. We're going to need those brackets. We can fix those. So we'll keep this stuff around for a little while until we're done with the job. But this is iffy. Like I was getting ready to say, this is broken and this is broken. But if we come over here, we have the pieces. Okay? They're still there. So I've got some really high quality epoxies, and we can go ahead and we can probably fix those too. So this is the only thing I'm a little worried about. This is completely missing on on that headlight as well. So that's going to be a problem. I think we've determined that when I first started out on this. Yeah. This is what it's got, and I did say, I think that's what I determined, is we could probably take this little ball and socket out. It's just screwed in there, and we could put easily put a bolt, nut and bolt there. So I think we're still not dead in the water on that. But 100% of this headlight is going to be glued and or epoxied, and I don't know if I want to do that. So that's iffy. That one's another iffy. But there's my pile of no good parts and a couple of iffies. I think I might. I'm going to compare prices, see what replacing that bumper cover and bumper inner skin, whatever they call the inner part of it, the inner structure of the bumper, and the brackets compared to an aftermarket bumper, maybe with a push bar kind of thing, in case she decides to hit another deer. We did discuss that, and she liked that idea. So the inner framework is pretty twisted up on this one. So rather than, and it's pretty cheesy for a bumper, it's pretty darn cheesy. So maybe we'll get her something a little bit more strong, better, bigger, better, faster, stronger. Well, maybe not faster. So let's maybe go that route. We're going to go in, we're going to start pricing things. This is going to be our parts list. I don't see $6,000. Do you? My radiator. I'm going to start pricing stuff. Radiator, bumper, I'm going to have to make a list. Now these little buggers, those little, I don't know what them snappy thingies, some of those are broken, so I'm going to have to probably call Toyota to get those, but we'll see. And the condensing unit is iffy. It was holding pressure, so if I can just buy the brackets, which I don't think I can, I'm very doubtful. I could find ways. If it was my vehicle, I'd find a way to make that thing mount in there without the brackets, but I'll discuss that with her. And we may or may not reuse that. It's pretty hammered. I mean, I can get it straightened out, but the fins and stuff are pretty beat.
yeah, we'll see how much it is, and we'll go from there. And then we just take this, I'm going to take that marker light out of there and go start checking on prices.
We're sorry about the wind. I've got the quote, comparison between doing it yourself and letting a body shop do it. So I'm going to go over that real quick. Hopefully the wind won't ruin this part of the video. We're going to start with front bumper. It's like 4 or 5 pieces, brackets, bumpers, covers, lowers, uppers, the whole thing. Body shop replacing stock bumper. $1,256 and change. I found her an aftermarket super deer protector killer push bar kind of bumper for $1,100. So for a little less, we got her better. Okay? Grill. Body shop. $438 plus a $33 for some kind of filler. And for me, or us, do it yourself, $125. Front lamps. Their cost, with all the stuff that goes with it, it is $377. Do it yourself, $158. Alright. Radiator support. Them, $423. Me, or you, do it yourself, or I keep saying me because I'm doing the work for her, but do it yourself, free! If you watch this beginning part, you'll see how I straightened it out with my truck. I'll do a little more straightening out, hammer dolly, but you will have to watch the next video after this to catch all that, put it back together. Alright, so let's see where we at. Okay, we have to go indoors for this. Let's skip over and go to the fender. Fender, shot, no good. Them, they want to replace the flares and everything. I don't see any point in that. Just need some little buttons. These little buttons you see, these red, white, blue, the red and blue. Just need to replace those. They're like $12, $20 at the most. Fender itself, that they didn't do too bad. They were going to charge $135, and for do-it-yourself, right about the same. However, they were going to replace the flares for another $305, do-it-yourself, the big donut, because we're just going to put flares. So $20, figure, 10 or $20 for the little snappy thingies. Okay, now we got a fan. They did not estimate the fan. They evidently overlooked it. So we still need to get a fan. Then I believe the fan was like $50, something like that. 50, $80, something like that. I don't remember. I didn't write it down because they didn't even have it on there. But they would have not even done that, so that would have been extra you didn't know you would have had to pay. Do it yourself. You're looking at less than $100. Oh, here we go. I forgot. I did have the condenser. I was unable to buy the outside bracket, and my friend decided she wanted to replace it, even though that one was not leaking. So, gotta wait for the wind. Sorry. The condenser, they were going to charge $150-ish, about the same for do-it-yourself. However, oh no, I'm sorry, $190. And do-it-yourself is $150. That was, the radiator, the actual radiator, which is inside, we'll go over that. The actual radiator was $150, it's the same if you buy it yourself. So I hope you're hearing me. We're going to explain some of this. We'll go over it a little bit more once I get inside and there's no wind. And then we're going to go, I think at this point we can go ahead and go in and go over it's a lot quieter in here. So we're going to go over this. Electrical horns. I decided I was going to try to keep these horns. They work, but they're a little beat up. You know, they don't look too good. So I did decide they were only like 50 bucks. So I went ahead and got a set of fans for 50 bucks. I mean, a set of horns for 50 bucks. This thing, we're going to fix this one. It's fixable, very fixable. We did have to buy another one, and it was where'd it go? Front lamps. Here we go. It was signal lamps, parking lamps. There we go. They wanted $81, and we got it for 56. Or yeah. Okay. And let's see, this thing is fine. Here's the air box. This is a huge, the air box. We can fix that easy enough. It'll work fine even as it is, but we can fix that easy enough. So if you had to buy one, I got that kind of out of order here. That's my fault. But if you order one, air cleaner, they want $622 for that bad boy. Do it yourself, free. You just fix it. You just put a little glue, put it back in. You got 2 broken brackets, but you only need 2 to hold it in because you've got your snorkel coming off the engine and you got the one inside the fender. So you don't need more than these 2. And one of them's good. This one we're going to put a little high dollar epoxy on it. Good stuff, and that'll be fine. And let's see, this is fine. This bad boy. This I don't think was damaged in the accident. It looks like it just got old and damaged itself over time. This is your windshield washer. I don't believe it was working. I think the pump was shot because I remember her telling me it wasn't working. So we figured we'll get a whole new assembly since it's caca. And so we have windshield reservoir. They wanted $95. We can do it yourself for $75. And again, we're saving all the labor. And I'm going to blow your mind with the labor. I think I've gone over everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. So I have my, executive looking spectacles for reading the differences here. So we've got all of those parts that we've saved a bunch of money on. So we've got the air conditioner, condenser, and dryer. They were up around $520, and we're doing it for $125. So again, fender, we're not really saving any money doing it yourself on the fender. The price they're charging and the price you would pay is pretty much the same. However, they were going to charge for flares, which are not necessary. We're going to spend 20 bucks or less on clips to put them back on, which we don't even need all of those, but we need some of them. The clips, the fender flares are fine. Otherwise, by the time they were done with you, you'd have been paying $470 for all the fender work, and you can do it yourself for $125. All right, horns, we can use those, so if you're really in a pinch, free, right? Or you can spend 40 bucks. They were going to charge $245 for the horns. And I'm just repeating this because I wanted to show you the parts as I told you, but because of the wind, it might be a little bit difficult. So, air cleaner assembly, big donut. We can fix it. It takes a little bit of good glue, right? What are you going to pay for epoxy? I got tubes of it here, so I'm not going to charge her anything for the tubes of it, the little bit I'm going to use. But you can buy a good quality Gorilla Glue epoxy for probably 8 or 10 bucks, right? So if you want to add $10 there for do it yourself, but $622 if you pay them. All right, windshield reservoir, 94 to 75. You don't save a lot there, but you're still saving 10 bucks, 10 bucks, right? 20 bucks, whatever. 10, 15 bucks, really. No, wait a minute, 75, 85, 95. So 20 bucks. All right, I got fingers. That's how I figure things out. All right, front door. They wanted to do some work to the front door. I think just the emblem, it's fine. So $0. Saving yourself 50 bucks there. All right, back to the front page because that was all the goody stuff. And that's not the blow your mind part. Here's the blow your mind part's coming. All right, front bumper, $1,256 for all the mini pieces that make up the front bumper on the stalker. I paid, I think it was $11 and change Then there's some shipping, so you probably about $1,400. They would have been shipping on theirs. Well, they didn't charge shipping, so I don't know. I guess maybe even $12.56. So we spent a little extra money there. You could go ahead and get the stock one. I think it was a little cheaper. I think I saw $400 or less for the bumper, and then you got to buy all that crap around it, which is what's running up here because they don't even have a lot on the bumper. A couple $100. Yeah, so I guess it was a couple hundred. No, $395. My bad. So yeah, $395, $400 for the bumper. So you wouldn't say there if you wanted to go stock, but really for the money you're going to pay, you might as well go with a really cool, Baja bumper or something that will deflect the deer without turning into like scrap metal. All right, but yeah, you can go stock on that. I did not price a stock bumper because it just looked ridiculous when I was hunting. The prices didn't seem that much different, so $1,300 for stock bumper just seemed like a lot of money. So I asked her if she wanted an aftermarket, fancy-dancy winch-type bumper. She said yes, by all means. So, grill. They wanted $438, and then they have a filler for the grill. I don't know, maybe it's the little emblem in the middle. I'm not sure. For another $40, $35. So $480 total for the front grill. I found it with the emblem already in it for $125. Big savings. Okay? And this is do-it-yourself, so don't forget you got to put all this stuff in. But parts-wise, you're saving money just in the parts. And, when we get to the labor, it's going to blow your mind. All right, front headlights, they were at $377 total with marker lights, everything. That's all the lighting. They were at $377. I'm at $158, or do-it-yourself is $158. And that's because we're going to fix one of them. We do have to replace the one, so we got a little bit of cost there. But really, we've saved. We're at half the money for the ones we have to buy. All right, radiator support. The donut. Okay, they got $423 on the radiator support. They were going to replace the whole radiator support. With a little bit of tug and pull by the old Dodge, we were able to turn that $450 into a big donut. Zero. Okay. If you're willing to do a little work, will it look brand new? No. If you're looking for brand new, we could probably hammer and dolly it and put a little bit of putty and make it look brand new, but we're not going to go through all that. If you want to, that's your choice. You're the one doing it, right? Do it yourself. But we're talking an 04. We're talking a 20-year-old truck. Unless you're trying to restore it as a classic, it's not worth putting this kind of. That's why they totaled the truck. That it wasn't worth putting this kind of money into. So for you, do it yourself. It's well worth putting the money into. So anyway, let's go back to this. Radiator support, big donut. Cooling, the radiator, they were right around the same price, $160, $160. Okay? And then you got shipping on that, so you probably come out a little bit upside down on that one, because by the time you pay the shipping for do-it-yourself to your place, you're probably going to get a little upside down because they're going to have it delivered in a big order, and that they save a little money doing it that way. So you come out a little upside down on the radiator, but you don't actually have to pay shipping. You just have to go to the what am I saying? You just go to the parts store and pick one up. You don't have to pay shipping on that if you're willing to drop. So you're probably coming out okay on that one. Not bad. Brain's going 10 different directions today. Air conditioner. They missed the dryer. Anytime you vent the air conditioning system, you should always replace the dryer. Okay, the dryer was less than $30. They were going to replace 2 hoses. Why? They're fine. I don't understand why you're going to replace a hose but not the dryer. That makes no sense at all. So they were at $520, and we're at like $150. So crazy, right? So big money. Now they're making money. That's what it's all about. But if you do it yourself, you are going to have a whole lot heavier wallet when it's over. You know what I mean? Fender, again, we'll go over that. They're about the same price. Do it yourself or the body shop, same price on the fender-ish, right around the same. But instead of spending $305 on new flares, we're going to spend less than $20 on some clips to put them on, because those are fine. They won't stay on because the clips are broken. Well, clips. So that's a crazy one. I don't know why they're doing that, because I guess they're trying to make money. Horns, we went over that before. $245 for a set of horns. $50 for if you do it yourself. Engine, the air cleaner, they're at $600. $122 for a new air cleaner. We're going to buy a $8 thing of Gorilla epoxy, 2-part epoxy, glue that bad boy back together. We'll be in it for less than 10 bucks. I got 0, but technically if you use the epoxy, you're going to use 10 bucks for it, at least. If you buy really good epoxy, you might be into it for 20. All right. The reservoir, they were at $95, we're at $75, $20 savings there. Front door, nothing. We're not spending any money on the front door, it's fine. Okay, then they got other things like pre-scan and post-scan and hazardous waste removal and all charges for like everything upside down. And now coolant, I did not charge for coolant because, so they're at 20. Yeah, probably the same, $20 for coolant. I'm going to try to save what was in there. There's nothing wrong with it. I caught it in a bucket. Just going to reuse it. So really nothing there either. Okay, here. If you're sitting down, make sure you're sitting down. If this doesn't convince you to do it yourself, nothing will. Now, I remember at the beginning of this video, I said their labor was only like $500. It was actually $566.80. And I thought, that's not bad, right? $566.80, if I was going to do the job, it's about what I would charge. Well, I am doing the job, but, you know, that's what I would charge, right? But I had to look at the fine print. $566 is the paint labor. That's to paint a fender, right? She needs paint on the hood. Why are we spending $600 to make a fender perfect when the rest of the truck's all faded and nasty? Now, I did ask her if she wanted me to do that, and I would have to charge her for that because it's a little bit different. That's beyond favors. So I would have to charge her for that. But she said, no, I just want to drive my truck again. I don't care about the fading hood and this and that because that's got some rust on it and it's going to take a little work. But why would you spend $600 on fixing a fender when the rest of the truck needs a paint? That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so we're at like $150. Well, total cost for the paint itself. Okay. Then they're at, I forget where their paint supplies. Let's see what they got for the paint supplies. $457.80 is what their paint supplies were. I was able to get the paint for $150. That's for a fender, right? What do you need, a paint and a little bit of clear? I mean, $150. So do it yourself, $150. You can buy a cheap Harbor Freight gun if you don't already have one. I think they've got one for like $50 or less. And a friend of mine painted a whole vehicle for that with one of those, and it came out great. So don't be afraid. I mean, if you're going to do a whole car, yeah, you might want to buy a better gun. But he did a great job with the whole vehicle. It was a truck, so it was big. So anyway, paint supplies, $457. I forgot that's on parts. $150 if you buy your own paint for a fender. Really? Come on now, guys. Well, they're going to blend it. So that requires overlapping into the doors a little bit and overlapping onto the hood, which is ridiculous in this case. But yeah, so blending a little bit different. But it's an whole truck with a faded hood and roof. So what are we doing here? If you're doing it yourself, you're trying to save money, right? You just want your truck back on the road. All right. Now, if you're going to do it yourself, you can easily do the hood and you probably need a quart of paint or so to do that. And again, with that color, it's a black. It's not real expensive. I think I bought a black. You're probably looking at less than $100 for paint, and then some reducer, and then clear coat. So you'll probably be into it for a couple $300 at the most. Anyway, but that's only if you want to fix everything. Okay. If you want to paint the whole truck, yeah, you're probably looking at $500 worth of parts, and stuff like that. And if you want to tackle that, unless you've been painting for a while. But anyway, okay, back to labors. I mean, they're charging. And again, if you're doing it yourself, this is zero. All of this is going to be zero, unless you got a friend like me. But let's see. Okay, body work. See, I only figured when I saw the $566.80, I'm like, oh, that's reasonable. But that was just for painting. For spraying a fender, that's ridiculous. Really? Unless they were saying they were going to fix the hood and everything, but when you're doing collision repair, you just fix what's broken. Oh yeah, but the front bumper, they would have had to paint the front bumper too. But that's about right, because I think I had a front bumper painted. My wife didn't trust me to do it. Women are weird. And it was like 400 beans just to do the bumper. So that's probably about right. So to do a fender in the front bumper, $566, for body shop. For you, big donut. All right, body labor.
that is bolting everything on and taking everything off. Okay, putting in the new grill, putting in the new lights, putting on the new bumper, putting on the new fender. That's $358. Okay, $358 just for assembling. What you've seen me do so far, that would have included that. Now it would have probably included replacing the radiator support, which is quite a bit of work. So that's not. I'm not saying that the body shop's being unreasonable. These are not unreasonable prices for what they're doing. I'm just saying this channel is all about do-it-yourself, right? So we're seeing how much money you can save doing it yourself. Okay, I mean, it's worth it. I mean, so far I've worked a day, right? I put 1 day into that truck so far. Putting it back together is going to be another day, okay, at least. Now I've got to do a little bit of painting, so that might take an additional day. So we might be into it for a whole weekend because I'm going to have the new bumper is bare metal, so it's going to have to be painted. We've decided to go with like a rhino liner on that, so it'll be like super durable. The fender, just like a pint of black paint. No big deal. It's like I bought a quart of black paint. I believe it was a Toyota color too. And I think I paid, of course I got it as a mismatch, and it was like $40. So without being a mismatch, it's probably more like $100. So anyway, body labor, that's just assembling everything like you're going to watch me do when all the parts come in. And that's $358. The paint labor, spraying, two things, $566. And then mechanical labor. This is, now, most mechanics are getting $100 an hour. I get it, okay? I get it. If I was a mechanic, I'd love making $100 an hour. But when you're talking mechanical labor, we're talking about taking the radiator out, taking the AC condenser out, taking the air box out, taking the windshield washer, bottle out, the inner fender well, which you would not have had to do. Well, yeah, you would have had to do if you're going to replace the support. And the fan shroud and the fan. The fan was something they didn't have on here, and they would have been like, oh, shoot, we're going to have to charge you for a fan, too. Oh, surprise, more money. And I can't believe they're going to fix the AC, replace the AC without replacing the dryer. That's just not good work, unless they just forgot. And it's easy. You're doing this much work, it's really easy to forget. So anyway, so we got $358. This is all labor. $358 for body, $566 for paint, $350 for the mechanical labor. That's removing all the parts and putting mechanical stuff for the engine and what have you. And then it says miscellaneous. Miscellaneous is like stuff we forgot. Another $30. Again, big donut if you do it yourself. All right. We have a subtotal with all the labor and everything. This is everything. Labor, tax is $450. You're not going to get away with. You're going to have to pay tax too. You're going to be looking at a little less than $300 probably for tax if you buy all this yourself. So overall, when everything's done, taxes paid, all the parts bought, you're looking at $6,938.64. Okay? And then they've got, I'm not really sure what this is all about, but they've got another $500 for something, for a total of $7,000. This is what you'd be, well, I think the $693 was out of pocket, and if the insurance company pays, they got a $500 deductible, so I think they added it on, so you might be able to ditch that, I'm not sure. But if you're paying $500 out of your pocket on an insurance thing, but anyway, that comes to a $7,696 total. Ow! Even if you stop at the $6,938, ow, right? And you got your old truck back, an 04. It's a good running truck. Toyota's a good vehicle, right? But you're looking at $7,000, maybe $7,500-ish, maybe a little bit more. That's some bucks, okay? Are you sitting down? Total cost for do-it-yourself, $2,528. So, $7,000 or $2,000. You pick. Yep, it's a little work. Yeah, you're probably gonna. I boo-booed my thumb. Hit it with a sledgehammer while I was fixing stuff. I do that a lot. But that might happen. You might smash your finger. But you're looking at $7,000. I'm just rounding things down now a little bit. $7,000 or $2,500. Okay, and actually I got 76, so it'd be 7,500 or 2,500 if you're willing to get a little dirty. And you don't have to finish it in 2 days or 3 days. You can finish it in a month, even if you're not in a hurry for your vehicle. So, I don't know. Do it yourself or body shop estimates. You tell me if it's worth doing. Now, make sure you watch the next video, because after this we're going to put the whole truck back together, and I'm going to see if I forgot anything, if we're going to have to add any cost here, but the body shop was going to do that too. They're like, well, things might things might go awry. Like for me, on my estimate, what I did for the parts, I had to get an antenna because I broke the antenna taking it off the truck. They didn't compensate for that. That $30 might have taken, I think the antenna was, I can't remember. It wasn't too bad, but we had to fix the antenna, so the antenna was another 30 or 40 or I can't remember. But anyway, you'll have to go back and figure it out. But anyway, so I didn't expect that. I found that when I took the fender apart that I had to buy, I'm going to have to buy an antenna. Well, at least the bezel for the antenna. One super expensive. So and they would have probably had to do the same thing because that thing was rusted on there and it just wouldn't come out. So do it yourself or body shop. Now, yeah, the body shop is going to be, your insurance is going to pay them probably. So you got a $500 deductible, maybe $1,000, whatever. They can pay you to fix your own car. You let them total it, tell them give you the money. You buy it back for whatever. You can dick her on the buyback. That's what this lady did, so she did pretty good on it. And then you spend a weekend or two with some friends, rip it apart, order your parts. Actually, it took me longer to order the parts, I think, than it did to get everything apart. And then put it back together. So stay tuned for the next video putting this thing back together, and you'll get a how-to video right on top of things. You know what I mean? This is kind of a how-to, but it's more like a estimation kind of. What's it going to cost? Is it easier to do it yourself? Easier? No. It's easier to pay somebody else. But fun? Sure. I enjoyed doing this truck. It's kind of fun so far. And she's gonna benefit from that, and she's gonna save a whole buttload of money. If you want to do it yourself, you're gonna save a whole buttload of money. And the internet, you can get a lot of it at your local parts store, and you can get a lot of it off the internet. So it's not, none of this was hard to find. Okay, and you can upgrade to like a bumper that'll kill the deer instead of killing your truck. You know, if that's your goal. She's like, I need something that. She picked the biggest bumper, you know, that covered the most of the front of the truck that she could find, because she didn't want to. You know, if you hit a deer with that, your truck's going to probably just drive away. That would be nice, right? So for very little bit, for around the same money, really, other than the shipping, because I had to get it from abroad. I couldn't buy it local. If you're lucky enough to be able to buy it local, you'd save even more money. But I have to have it shipped, and that costs a few $100s. But anyway, there we go. That's the end of this video. Make sure you watch the next one, because it's going to be all this coming back together, and you see how it come out. We're putting the rhino liner on the push bar / bumper. We're going to paint the fender like cheap, easy, cheapo fender. I've got a little tiny touch-up gun. That's all I'm going to use. Nothing fancy. And it's not that great a gun. It was cheap. I don't know if it's Harbor Freight or something similar. So we're going to do all that, and you decide whether you want to tackle this job or not. You'll need both videos if you're going to do it yourself and you're not sure how, and you're not sure, you know, all the technicalities of doing this or fixing that. We're going to do all of that, even the hammer and dolly work on the radiator support. So you'll be able to see how to, because we've got it all pulled out where we want it, but it's still kind of, you know, twisted up. So we're going to hammer and dolly that, make it look nice. Won't look brand new, but honestly, when the truck's assembled, you won't even be able to tell. I promise. Well, I'm not going to promise, because if you look real close, you might tell, but you really won't be able to tell, because it's mostly going to be covered up by stuff. So that's what the video is about. Thank you for watching. Please tell your friends. Hit the like button, and most of all, please subscribe, because if you subscribe, when I put out the next video, the sequel, if you will be able to, it'll pop up, tell you, hey, that video's out, go watch it. You know, so it's well worth subscribing. Appreciate you watching. See ya.